Hey there survivors, how's it going? I'm your host Douglas here at Drownblade Productions, bringing you another Friday the 13th related video. It has been quite a while since we've done a Friday the 13th related video or anything Jason related. I think maybe the last thing we did was the full Jason Goes to Hell costume build. Funny enough, today's video is also on a Jason Goes to Hell piece that you can already tell what it is by the title and thumbnail. But before we jump into this awesome Jason piece, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys some other additions to the collection. And I also want to go ahead and address this. If my voice sounds a bit off, it's because I'm currently suffering through tonsillitis. I just want to go ahead and make some videos anyway. I'm feeling pretty down, so if I sound a little bit sick, that's why, but I'll be fine. Anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at some other additions to the collection. Starting off with these diamond jewelry display cases. There was a diamond jewelry store that I picked up a display case from about 6 months ago, and they told me they may be closing down soon, and when they do, they would give me a call and let me know if they were going to part with anything else. And sure enough, I got a call out of the blue the other day, and they were going to go ahead and shut down. They actually had their last day of business while I was there, and I picked up 3 display cases. First off, we have this nice tall hexagonal freestanding one that locks from both sides. Really tough piece, really nice, plenty of space inside, and of course it works as a great table here on the channel. I wish I would have had this years ago. Next up we have another great piece. This also locks, and it has a Lazy Susan built into the bottom. Now initially this did have a full center support where you could put all sorts of chains and necklaces and stuff like that on it, but of course I went ahead and removed that, and now it's a nice, beautiful display case for a mask. And I did the same with this one, which is really big and currently heavy because there's a clown inside. But as you can see, or maybe you can't, it may be cut off, I have no clue. It says 14 karat gold up here on top, and yet another one that had a large support in the middle that I had to remove. So yeah, 3 very nice display cases, and I got these all super cheap, like $20 a piece. So very great finds and an absolute necessary pickup for the collection. Next up, I want to give a shout out to the homie Darby O'Trill, who just released his first album through Chapter 17 Records, Creek. If you're a rap fan, if you're interested in that kind of music at all, absolutely go check it out. This shit is fucking fantastic. The shirt is sick as hell. I of course had to get the full pre-order bundle, well, one of many. This one came with a nice sticker, a signed album, and of course the shirt. Unfortunately, my album did get a little bit bent up. Really unfortunate on that, but otherwise, Darby's the shit. And genuinely, if you guys are into rap music, I'll say it again, if you have not listened to this record, go check it out, and some of his older stuff, because the shit is fucking fire. And speaking of fire, we're going to move on to another piece that emerged from the fires of hell. Here we have a very special piece from Jason Goes to Hell. Say what you will about the movie, I know it's certainly one of my least favorite entries in the franchise. However, the look for Jason is just so damn cool. I know a lot of people hate it because of how bloated and large and weird and goofy he looks, but to some degree, I really like that. You know, when I was a kid, I really didn't like Part 8 Jason either, but as an adult, I've really grown to like that look, which I think most people would see that as a sign of the opposite of me maturing as a fan. However, I really like this look. As you guys may know, I literally built a full Jason Goes to Hell costume while I was wearing it, except for the mask, which was sculpted by another Mississippi artist, Brandon Scott Murphy. If you guys haven't seen that video, go check it out. He did an absolutely amazing replica, and maybe I'll throw in a side-by-side at the end of this. I don't know. I've got a full life-size of him put together in there. I haven't even introduced this piece yet. What we have here is an HSS Hell bust. This is a very special piece. I'm sure many of you out there who are fans and have been in the hobby for a while, you already know what this is and you know how important this is, but this was made by Horror Sanctum Studios, which is HSS, Sam McCain, an artist who has been around for quite a while, who has unfortunately passed. But he made some very cool pieces back in the day, including that concept Myers where half of his face is burned, and it's just a really cool concept. I've seen several knockoffs of that. I'll be sure to put some pictures on screen now. But he also did make several different recasts of screen-used movie mold pieces to offer to fans. Usually those were limited to 20 pieces. Only 20 of them would be made. I know he did the coffin dummy from part 6, he did this. I want to say there's another Jason piece that I'm not thinking of off the top of my head, or maybe it was a project that was supposed to happen that fell through. But regardless, this particular piece was molded off of Billy Kirkus's original screen-used. I do believe it was a screen-used copy. Maybe I'm wrong on that. If you know the history, let me know in the comment section down below. And Sam, of course, recasted that and did a limited edition production run of 20 of these. Like I said, typically only 20 were made. However, I have found out after purchasing this that Sam apparently did make some unauthorized copies under the table. I don't know how many. I don't think anybody does know exactly how many. It may have only been 1 or 2. But the way that I found this out personally is while looking up and doing some research on the Hell hoods, I came across an old listing for number 17 out of 20. But this copy right here is number 17 out of 20. So after noticing that, I spoke to the person selling this one and asked them if this one was repainted or if it was an original. And apparently, the second one that I saw was, I guess, the duplicate that was made because it didn't look to be one of the ones that was painted by Sam, or if it was repainted. Yet again, I'll be sure to throw some pictures on screen now. But yeah, here's another number 17. So at least 2 number 17s out there. I have no clue how many others he made, so I can't say it was strictly limited to 20, but there were only supposed to be 20 made. I do believe the fact that Sam sold some of those under the table ended up causing some problems between him and Billy Kirkus, and from what I've heard, Billy never received his original back. I don't know if it was because of those disagreements or if it was because of Sam's passing, but regardless, I really hate that for Billy. That sucks. But I guess if there's a silver lining, it's the fact that there are now these out there for fans. And you may look at this and notice that it looks just a little bit small. And of course, anything that's recasted is going to shrink one size. I genuinely hate that that happened to Billy, but if there was any silver lining, it's that this made its way out into the hands of fans. So now a limited number of people, somewhere slightly over 20, have these. Because having stuff like this out in the hands of fans who would never have the opportunity to own one of the screen use pieces, which would likely be rotting away and cost thousands of dollars, is a great thing. That is a wonderful silver lining if there ever was one. Again, really hate that that happened for Billy, but man, these things are so cool. And I gotta say, Sam really did a great job on painting these. I don't think it really needs to be repainted. I'm sure there's some areas that could be touched up, but it looks very damn good. Most of you have seen his large mutated melon before, at least a majority of this. The one thing that you never do see fully in the movie is Jason's face. And really, there never was a face sculpted for him. All they really did was this piece of exposed skull, which was there for when the mask gets cracked. You can see the skull exposed underneath. And on some of the copies I've seen, I presume possibly unused ones, they were finished like this, where there's latex material with a hole cut in the middle and it's painted black. However, I do believe in a scene where Kane is having some makeup applied, you can tell that they actually did cut that fully out and actually just back it with some black mesh, which makes a lot more sense and is probably a little bit more comfortable. There's not a whole lot to say on these because it's pretty self-explanatory. This was a recast of an original production or screen use Jason Goes to Hell head. And now, like I said, 20 plus people have these things, and they are absolutely awesome, and they're incredibly rare. This is the first one that I've seen pop up in years. And it was not a cheap purchase by any means, but for what it is, I really didn't want to pass on it. It's so cool. And one thing, the artist that had this was Ozeron. Many of you know Oz. He actually did make a hockey mask that was custom fit for this. I'm pretty sure the guy selling it sent it over to have that hockey mask custom fit for it. But I passed on the hockey mask. It's not anything against Oz or his work. Just personally, I would rather display this as is. So it kind of looks like a piece of film history, and you can actually get a look under Jason's mask and really appreciate the full sculpture. I don't know, I just feel like it displays better without the hockey mask. You guys can let me know what you think in the comment section down below. And I don't know if I mentioned this, but it is actually still tagged. I'm sure you've probably noticed it while I'm holding it, but this is Sam McCain's original tag, Horror Sanctum Studios since 1981. And on the back, in his handwriting, it says HSS Hell Jason Goes to Hell Hood, limited edition, number 17, Sam McCain. Signed on the inside, all that kind of stuff. Very nice piece. And I actually was looking at the back here, and I thought there was something weird going on, and there kind of is. I'm guessing that he had Oz do this. I don't know for certain. It may have already been like this, but this was slit down the back to where it could be worn. However, it has been pretty perfectly, I guess, seamed back together, you could say. It's just been glued. It's not latex or anything like that, but it is now one piece. So as it sits, it's no longer really a mask. Unless I open that back up, it's more of a bust. And I'll probably keep it that way. But yeah, really not a whole lot left to say on this piece. Like I said, it's pretty self-explanatory. If you've seen the movie and you've seen the sculpture, you know what it looks like. This is a recast off of that, so it's the exact same thing. The paint job and finishing is pretty damn good. I wouldn't say it's 100% accurate, but It's very, very close. Very, very good job. And with that being said, I guess there's really nothing left to do but give you all some nice close-ups of this piece, so I hope you really enjoyed today's video. I love you all, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in hell.